Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this networking session, the first of its kind by this foundation. Today, I present the scorecard and future outlook of the Zeribe Nwosu Foundation. This foundation is focused on education, mentorship, and scholarship, with an additional interest in philanthropy. My name is Zeribe Nwosu. We started on January 1, 2021, with the Zeribe Nwosu Foundation, ZNF, and the Zeribe Nwosu Scholarship, ZNS. We have since assembled an admin team of 10 members. We created a Telegram group that now has over 390 members. In that group, we have shared over 200 opportunities bordering on bachelor's, master's, PhD studies, jobs, and scholarships. The Zeribe Nwosu Foundation Seminar Series is an important medium through which we are advancing education. We have organized 10 seminar series since we had the first one in July. We have had over 800 sign-ups for these seminars. Now, what actually means over 800 individuals have seen at least one of our seminar series activities and have actually filled out the form. Over 1,000 total sign-up. If you reconcile these numbers, therefore, over 200 individuals have registered for more than one of our seminar series. Average show up. That means the number of people who actually attend the seminars after signing up ranges between 20 to 40%. On the lower scale, out of 100, 20 appear. On the upper scale, out of 100, 40 show up on the day of the seminar. Good starting point, but it's a number we need to improve on. We have had 7 speakers in this seminar series. That includes both the main seminars and the mini seminars. The mini seminars are the ones that hold any Saturday, any day actually, whereas the main seminars are the ones that hold on the last Saturday of the month. And I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the speakers that we have had so far. Amechi Odono, Bosun Roy Layinde, Dr. Florian Huber, Dr. Carlo Udu, Dr. Nekamba, Dr. Wayeze, Dr. Zeribe Nwosu, which I think happens to be me. I appreciate all of them for their time, commitment, for the tireless, selfless service they have rendered this foundation through the seminar series. We have covered topics ranging from CV writing, scholarships, data presentation, personal statement, career in data science, US school application. Besides the seminars, mentorship is another medium through which we are supporting several students to advance their career. We have so far reviewed over 30 CVs. We have reviewed over 60 personal statements this year alone, thereby helping students to sharpen their applications for jobs, schools, or scholarships. I have written 10 recommendation letters this year, and I am aware that Dr. Wayeze has also written some. Combined, both of us would have written somewhere in the ballpark of 15 recommendation letters this year alone, helping students again to access opportunities. Now you cannot underestimate this, because a lot of these students actually struggle to find someone to give them recommendation letters, and they need it for their application. We have prepared scholarship database, and this is still ongoing, still needs additional updates. The scorecard continues with the Zeribe Nwosu Scholarship, which is in fact one of the most important elements of this foundation. We have made an undergraduate scholarship award to a student, full tuition fee from first year to final year at the University of Lagos. We have supported an individual to register with the European Association for Cancer Research, again, another opportunity to help students or individuals to advance their career. We are in the process of selecting 4 individuals that will have to go through IELTS English language exam preparatory course. And I'm happy to announce that one anonymous sponsor has chosen to sponsor 2 of those 4 individuals. And I think that's one of the things we want to see in this foundation. We want to see that individuals come from outside or from within the Telegram group and see what we are doing, and they're excited by it, and they volunteer to either give a presentation or they sponsor individuals, in this case, pay for people to take preparatory class, or pay for people to apply to schools, or even pay for someone's school fees. We have reached out to secondary schools, asked for nomination of students, high-performing students, and also considering the students who may have difficulties paying their West African Examination Council exam fee or joint admissions and matriculations board exam fees, that the principals give us nomination from which we will select in total some 15 to 20 of these students for whom we will pay for their fees. Now, we need to understand, for those who may not know, that the West African Examination Council exam and so-called JAM are critical for the students to get admission into universities. So this is a very substantial contribution that we believe will be very useful to support certain students who may otherwise find it difficult to pay for their exams, and therefore may not necessarily have the opportunity to go to study at the university level. The scorecard of the foundation continues with other milestones. We have registered, in other words, we have incorporated the foundation here in the United States. We have now set up 2 live streaming channels, YouTube and Facebook. And this allows us to have additional capabilities to extend our reach beyond the limits of Zoom. The Zeribe Nwosu Foundation now has its Facebook page, which also will extend our reach to a wider audience. Initiating international reach is a major priority and interest in this foundation. This foundation must have an international outlook. I'm happy in that regard that we have had one speaker from Germany. Actually, he's not German, he's Austrian, but he studied and works in Germany, who gave us a fantastic presentation on career opportunity for data scientists. It may also interest you to know that a couple of persons in the Telegram group at the moment are not Nigerians. So again, we are gradually extending the reach beyond the country, and those are people from other countries in Africa, and we are looking to also begin to bring in people from other parts of the world at some point. 2022, I pray, will be a good year for you, a good year for me, a good year for this foundation. In 2022, we aim to continue the monthly seminar series. We hope to sustain the mini seminars. And I like the mini seminars because they're spontaneous, they are involuntary. It's like somebody is interested in something and someone else has experience in it. We set up a Zoom meeting for you to give a presentation on that topic. Even if it's 2 persons who benefit from it, even if it's 1 person, it's important we have it. It's an opportunity also to network. And I really, really like that particular initiative. So the mini seminar series will continue, and we call on individuals who wish to volunteer to give presentation to reach out to us to do so. We will start keeping track of actual participation in our meetings. Some of the times people just reach out to me and they're asking for recommendation, and I've never met them before. One of the key reasons why we set up the Telegram group is to bring certain people closer to us, so that if someone now wants to reach out to me to say, I want a recommendation letter or so, we can see that for sure we have been close to this, we have known this person, we have seen this person's interaction for a while, and we can vouch for him or her, and maybe he or she has been attending our seminars, and we can say, we know that you have attended a seminar on XYZ topic, so we can say that this person has been exposed to this knowledge, and therefore it's something that we can give a concrete statement in recommendation letters, rather than just making a general recommendation letter, which most often than not will not get anybody anything. So for that reason, we want to keep track so that we know who are attending these seminars, and I encourage you guys to take these seminars seriously. We will look towards opportunities to increase average participation in these seminars. We will expand ZNF reach within Nigeria and Africa. We will aim to initiate footprint outside Africa. That means, for example, in Europe, in Asia, in America, begin to have activities under the auspices of this foundation. We will continue to support students through recommendation letters. As I mentioned earlier, some of these students find it very difficult to find someone to give them recommendation letters. And we hope that if we get to know them, if they attend our seminars and we have proper record of their participation, we can at least give some certain recommendation in the direction of what we have done here in our seminar series. We hope to sustain the statement of purpose reviews. Particularly, I think the strategy will be to have maybe every 4 months or 3 months, we make a new call for people to submit their personal statement for review. The same will be true for CVs. We hope to expand ZNF online presence. This is another one that I'm very interested in. We look forward to opportunities on entrepreneurial programs. For example, I have watched Dragon's Den, I have watched Shark Tank, I have watched Apprentice UK, apprentice youth US version. I really like these programs because they encourage innovation, they encourage creativity. And I think that is something that's highly educative, and it's a direction that the foundation should go at some point. We will look to establish collaborations and partnerships with foundations and agencies of shared interest. I think this is important because in any case, we have a lot of experience, we have ideas, we have the manpower, but it is important that we have extended reach. And if there are foundations and agencies that are ready to work with us, we will work with them. And we are bringing a lot to the table. Really, we have the ideas, we know what we want. So I think it should not be difficult to set up these collaborations. Now, the Zeribe Nwosu Scholarship, as I mentioned earlier, is a fundamental component of this foundation. We will select 5 undergraduate students for an award in 2022. The specifics of that will be made known as from January 1. We will select 15 to 20 secondary school students, as I mentioned earlier, whom we will pay for the West African Examination Council exam fee or the so-called JAM. Again, these 2 exams are critical for university admission in Nigeria. We will select schools and at least organize 1 outreach in 2022. We are also looking forward to setting up competitions, namely essay or quiz. Again, this is very critical to stimulate students to start thinking about working hard with the potential to get some reward for it, because hard work will always pay. And if they know that, if they are exposed to that environment, that mindset, that could be a good thing for the society in the long run. Now, we're also going to explore opportunities for funding and grants. We have a lot of beautiful ideas, but these ideas, you need money to make them materialize. We are looking forward to a time when we don't use personal funds to run these things, when industries, corporations, governments, and other agencies or foundations could come in to help us to have more resources, to have higher reach, because we have the ideas, we know what we want to do. And so with that money, it should be very easy for us to run and deliver on the things we have in front of us. Now, let me take a moment to acknowledge and appreciate the admin team of the Zeribe Nwosu Foundation. All of the things that I've shown you before now are made possible because of their tireless contribution and their efforts, and we must thank them. Here, Dr. Bayesi, who I believe many of you have seen in our Telegram group. He is a tireless champion of education, mentorship, and scholarship. In fact, he is a tireless champion of the foundation of this foundation. He is so critical to us, and in fact, also, he is fundamental to the Zeribe Nwosu Scholarship, in particular, the Zeribe Nwosu Scholarship for undergraduate to postgraduate phase. And for sure, that, as I mentioned earlier on, is a fundamental component of this foundation. We appreciate him for his commitment. He brings so much to the table that I cannot even quantify. And I appreciate him again for what he's doing. In our midst is a long-term friend of mine, Joel Ogokuri, who I have known since the mid-90s. He is a fantastic guy. I said this sometime in the past, one of the most intelligent persons I have met. He is smart, he is very articulate, he knows what he is doing. He is very committed to teaching kids physics and mathematics. And for that reason, he is actually a very important person for us because he brings that knowledge to help us with the Zeribe Nwosu Scholarship for secondary school to undergraduate phase. And I appreciate him for his commitment as well. The next, Charles Segidugu, here, he's a very smart young man. I have talked about him in the past as well. You know, studied medical laboratory science at the Ebonyi State University. I actually want to stop here and talk about him in a bit because he provides an example of what we can do for those who volunteer to work for us. So he is applying for admission in UK and US. You know, he's sent in several applications, and through the instrumentality of this foundation, we have supported him with application fees. We have supported with reviewing his personal statement, his CV and research statement and diversity statement, all other kind of, he has all other kind of questions. He has a pool of experts to ask questions. He can reach out to me, he can reach out to I, he can reach out to Boson, he can reach out to Dr. Nekam, but he is surrounded by so really supremely talented people. And so we hope that he's going to make a transition this time to either UK or the US for his studies. The reason I mentioned that is that you as a volunteer in this foundation will be taken care of whether monetarily or otherwise. And by the way, sometimes in life, it is not that somebody gave you $50 or $100 or $2,000 that matters. Somebody can give you something that can help you to access $100,000, and that is more important. So let us look at the big picture. And I think he's somebody who saw the big picture and keyed into it, and I appreciate him for that understanding. Akintunde Odesilo brings a lot of experience from the IT and computer side of things. He studied bachelor's and master's at Newcastle University, brings that experience that he can also use to advise people who may be interested in going in that direction, and is also supporting us in our scholarship initiative as well as our online presence. We appreciate him again for his commitment. Boson Roy Lainde, who I mentioned his name earlier on, if you remember, under the seminar part of my presentation. He is currently a PhD student here at the University of Michigan, but a fantastic guy in many respects, a very good footballer, I can tell you, because we play football together here at the University of Michigan. But besides that, he has contributed a lot in this foundation. He has brought ideas, he has brought, different perspectives, but besides that, also has supported in reviewing personal statements, not just for people outside, but also to review personal statements and provide documents for those within the admin team. And I appreciate him for his commitment. Now, Dr. Nekamba, my own person, so to say, we are in the same laboratory here at the University of Michigan. This is one person that you really want to know. She is fantastic. She is thoughtful. She is really articulate. She is always on point. And in many respects, I think that she has been, knowing her has been a blessing to me, because sometimes I'm running helter-skelter with a lot of ideas, and she it has a way to streamline that, to sort of say, oh, Zeribe, don't go in that direction. This is going to be, in many respects, she has been very valuable to me, and I appreciate her for her time. But even in this team, not only is that she has contributed, for example, in paying application fees for Charles, she has also supported in mentoring the Princess Asaba, who I'm going to show her in a bit. So she has provided that mentorship, and by the way, she also gave a presentation in one of our seminar series. We appreciate her. Christian Dirisu brings a lot to the table. He brings an engineering background, but besides that, he is very experienced in IT stuff. He's very sharp, and he's going to lead our communication volunteer team as we move ahead, which is a very big team. I'm going to show in the next couple of slides. That's going to be a very, very big team. So he is going to be responsible for managing that communication initiative. So he brings a lot in terms of expertise and interest in IT, and we appreciate him for his commitment. Now, Dr. Kalistu Sukechukwu joined us recently. He's a house officer currently at Obafemi Awolowo University, studied at Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University in Uli, the former Anambra State University, and he's a fantastic guy. We are gradually getting to know him, but the beautiful thing about him that I am very excited about is having him in the group, in the team, now gives us that additional tentacle to cover the medical specialty to some extent, because we want to have someone who can, for each of these subjects, someone who can just give a little bit of insight, at least, that someone that is being mentored can then build on. So he provides that different perspective, and we're very happy to have him on board. Princess Asabo is also another person who just joined us, like Kalistu Sukechukwu, who just joined us recently. So she holds a bachelor's degree in biochemistry, which and at the moment she is a youth corper. It's interesting to have her on board because she provides that sort of fresh mindset as to what is happening in the university. And so in many respects, she's able to provide us some insights that could be useful for us to advance our program. And she brings a lot of ideas also in that regard. I appreciate her for her time. We hope that just like Charles, that Princess and Callistus will also get additional mentorship as from next year to be able to pursue and apply for opportunities abroad and transition and make progress in their career as well. And then here, Zeribe Nwosu. Now going into 2022 and beyond, we are looking to create opportunities for voluntary experience. A lot of the times, students are contacting me, they want recommendation letters, or they're writing personal statements, and you look at the statement, it is empty. I'm asking, do you have voluntary experience that we can put in this statement? We cannot find a voluntary experience, that we cannot manufacture anyone. So we are thinking about going into the new year and beyond to expand opportunities for people to volunteer in the foundation, get experience, maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, that they can catalog in their CV and also put in their personal statement. And maybe if I have to write a recommendation letter for you, for that person, I can also mention it in the recommendation letters. Some of the areas that people can volunteer in could be, for example, people can be video editors. Learn iMovie, learn Movie Maker, learn OpenShot, or whatever any other of the tools that you want to learn about video to use in video editing. People can come in and become flyer designers for us, help us to design flyers, learn Photoshop, Illustrator, Inkscape, or GIMP program, and use this to also write this later on in their CV or personal statement. And of course, when they even transition, if you go to start whether you're doing PhD, postdoc, you will find that these tools are very useful. So that knowledge can be very valuable going on in future. People can volunteer to be bloggers for us and prepare transcripts, convert some of the videos into text, and that could be, and summarize them, and that could be a thing. The ZNF magazine editors could also be another thing. People can serve in the, and I have a lot of interesting ideas how this magazine could function. We could have data analysts. I showed you earlier on some numbers about participation in our seminar series, and that is important. Those numbers are important in shaping the way we think as a foundation. And therefore, we need people who will come and crunch those numbers. We need people who will come and learn, these tools, R Studio, R, Python, MATLAB, whatever the method you want, or SPSS, whatever the method you want to use to analyze such data, to make sense out of them, perform basic and advanced machine learning, and help us to define the direction the foundation must go. We need social media managers at some point, secondary school database managers, universities contact list that will help us to extend our reach in Nigeria and Africa. Reviewers of scholarship application, reviewers of personal statements, reviewers of CVs. I do not think we should stop the personal statement reviews because of manpower, because of the burden of work that it creates. Rather, we should extend the pool of volunteers who are reviewers, who are prepared to do this job, and list them on our website and give them credit for reviewing this personal statement. And that could be something that they could document in their CV. We create ZNF representatives across scholarship database, outreach coordinators. Because again, this outreach is an interesting aspect that I'm very excited about, and I'm sure that I'm aware that Chief Upai is also very interested in it. So we would like to see it happen at some point in 2022. Now we could have volunteers for mini seminars. Presenters in these mini seminars could step up at any point in time, could come in at any point in time and deliver presentation on any topic of interest. Proofreaders in this era of autocorrect, we know that typographic errors are causing serious problems. So we need people who can proofread documents and help us ensure that our messages are not lost in translation. We need media design experts. We need an app at some point for this foundation. We need a team that will commit to finding opportunities, grant opportunities, and applying to them, building therefore experience in grant writing. And of course, if you have any topic or area that you feel that you could bring some experience on, feel free to reach out to us, and we will think about how to incorporate that. I think that is where we have to stop, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for listening. And if you listen to this presentation I just gave and you like what you heard, and you feel like you would like to just come in and observe for yourself, then for sure, you are free to join us in the Telegram group. We are not restricting participation in this group. So long as you are interested in what you are doing and you will respect the rules that we have established in the Telegram group, namely to avoid certain posts that are inflammatory and that are likely to provoke arguments. And so long, because we have been able to coexist peacefully. And by the way, on that basis, I also appreciate all members of the Telegram group so far. And so therefore, we want to make sure we maintain that. So if you're interested in what we are doing based on what I presented today, feel free to join us. Otherwise, also, it's also okay if you just join our seminar series and then go home after that. So on that basis, thank you very much for listening, and let us transition now to the proper networking session. Thank you very much.